Hey friends, I'm Carmen, one of the educators at Curiodyssey, and today we're thinking about animal behavior, and specifically the animals at home, our pets. I'm going to show you a simple way to make an enrichment, something that helps your pet to become more active and show their natural behaviors, and this one is going to be for our dog named Albus. Now, Albus is a pretty small dog, so this will be an idea for maybe if you have a smaller dog like a poodle or a terrier or something like that. Those of you with larger dogs probably have some different types of enrichment ideas, but our dog, he doesn't really like to play fetch or do frisbees or anything like that, so most of his enrichment that we give him is about stimulating his sense of smell and getting him to try to problem solve. So this is going to be a little puzzle, and we're going to see if he can figure it out. Providing animal enrichment is important for any creature that is living anywhere, whether it's a zoo, an aquarium, or right here in your own home, and that's because it helps to keep their brains and their bodies active since they don't face the predators and other struggles that they would out in the wild. A lot of them retain some of the same characteristics and features and adaptations that their wild cousins do, and without the opportunity to exercise them for the necessity of living, it's up to us as the responsible people who take care of them to provide them opportunities to exhibit all of their natural behaviors. Now, with a dog, you might already know some of their natural behaviors, maybe just from watching dogs in your own life. You notice that most of their experience comes through their nose, their sense of smell. So in this enrichment, I am going to challenge our dog Albus to see if he can smell that there is a treat and to see what he does to try to get the treat out of the enrichment item. Here's what you'll need for this simple enrichment. First thing, you'll need a box. I have this leftover cardboard box from some potatoes, but if you have another type of container like a shoe box or even a plastic storage container, that can be a good option. The second thing you'll need for this enrichment idea are some cardboard tubes. Either paper towel or toilet paper tubes work really well, and of course this is assuming your dog isn't one that tends to chew on paper. Our dog Albus, he doesn't really chew on paper at all. He pretty much ignores it or sits on it, so for his particular habits, I know that this will be safe for him. Plus, never give an animal an enrichment unless you're supervising the creature in all of its time interacting with the puzzle that you make. We're definitely going to do that in this case. So you can stack the toilet paper tubes into the box, and my goal right here is to make it where Albus can't use his eyes to immediately see what's interesting about this. I'm hoping that since he doesn't recognize this as one of his normal toys, that he'll be challenged by being curious that it smells like something interesting for him, but it doesn't look like anything that he's ever used before. I've never given Albus an enrichment quite like this, so I'm not sure how he will react. In general, he is a very curious animal, but he is quite shy. We got him from an animal shelter, and it seems like he had experienced some types of trauma before he came to us, so sometimes he can be quite shy. But in general, he's not scared of new experiences, he just doesn't always know what to do. So here are all of my tubes laid into my box, and next we want to find something that's going to make it interesting for Albus. Our dog Albus is most motivated to do new tasks by getting lots of positive attention and petting, plus he has some special treats that are soft. He has a little bit of gum damage and tooth damage from his time being a stray dog before we adopted him, so he really likes soft treats. So I have one of his favorite soft treats here, and I'm going to break it into some small pieces so that way I can scatter the different places where he can find a reward. That's what we call it in animal training and enrichment. When the animal gets the little treat, that's their reward. So I'm going to go ahead and randomly drop put these into a few different tubes. And then I'm also going to get some of his regular kibble and drop that throughout the different tubes. Now, if you have a different type of animal, maybe you're making this for a cat, or maybe you're making this for something like a bunny or a guinea pig, what would you add different besides a treat and besides dog kibble in here? Maybe you could choose something from your animal's regular diet, or something that your animal uses to nest. In the case of something like a hamster, you could put in some nesting material. If you're doing something like a cat, maybe you could put some catnip in here. And if it's for a bunny or a guinea pig, even though they do eat fresh produce, I wouldn't recommend putting too much fresh food in this because it can get soggy, but things like Timothy hay and their normal pelleted diet would work really well in an enrichment like this. I don't use any sticky stuff like glue or tape because I don't want it to accidentally get stuck to the fur of the animal that's going to use this. So in general, I try not to use anything sticky in an animal enrichment. So as much of a puzzle for the human engineer trying to create the puzzle as it is a challenge for the animal to undo it after they get to see it. So I actually excluded Albus from this room so that way he wouldn't see or hear or smell anything that was going on. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get him and let him in to see what his reaction is, and I'll film that first reaction to our cardboard dog enrichment so you can see what he thinks. Alright, now that we saw that, what did you think? I thought it was pretty successful. It was something that he kept going back to and being curious about and was able to get all of the treats. One funny thing about Albus when I give him puzzles is he hasn't quite figured out that his paws are also tools that are well adapted for digging. He mostly used his face, which is kind of how he engages with most puzzles that I give him, but I hope that as he just tries more and more different things, or maybe gets to go outside and practice digging, that he'll realize that he has more tools than just his face. But for now, it's pretty entertaining to see what he tries to solve using his face. For animals that might have kind of a tendency to eat something like this, like cardboard or paper, and maybe it's not safe for them, some other ideas I would have for a simple adaptation of the same style enrichment would be to get a big tote bag, and you could fill that with something like pillows or blankets, or your dog's favorite toy, something that will be dog-proof, cat-proof, proof whatever your pet may be, and hiding some sort of reward down at the bottom of that tote bag so they have to work a little bit in order to try to find it. I encourage you to think of some more safe and simple animal enrichments to keep your creatures at home engaged and stimulated and excited to try new things. It'll definitely be fun for you to get to watch them as well. So try that out. Show us some pictures of your animals hanging out with the different enrichments you create, and we're excited to see what you come up with. Till next time, stay curious.